Timing is key. We might think that this is a cliche, but if we examine this question in detail, we will not find cliches but very exciting discoveries and explanations. And in the following video series, I will unfold these based on the book When by Daniel H. Pink. Personally, I have always reacted sensitively to time. Efficiency has always been very important to me. For example, I like doing several activities in the same time intervals. I split my activities into passive and active ones. So if I have an active activity that requires focus, I also do some passive activity in the background that does not require that much of concentration. For example, I start the washing machine before I start cooking in order to use out that time meant for cooking in the most effective way. In the morning, before I wash my face, I turn on the kettle so that I don't have to wait a few minutes for the water to boil. This few minutes will be used better when I wash my face. I have also noticed that when it comes to certain kinds of questions, I personally like to think about them in the evening hours or even at night and make my greatest decisions in the later hours of the day. It never felt hard for me to be awake at night, but I never understood why. Some of my roommates during high school and university assume that I don't like to sleep. Well, I really love to sleep. I just don't like to give up the hours when my brain works best. I have always been interested in time and the right timing for good decisions. So when I saw Daniel H. Pink's book in the bookstore, it immediately piqued my interest. And in this video, I summarize the thoughts and tips that help me understand important connections regarding my functioning based on the book and the content of the book. And I hope the information will help you to understand the way you function. I say function, but what does this mean exactly? Let's call this functioning in the first place by its name. It's the circadian rhythm. This is the physiological daily rhythm of the body, which consists of biological processes that repeat themselves regularly. These biological processes are usually broken down on a daily basis and start over every day. This is the biological clock. De Mairan, a French astronomer, made a groundbreaking observation when he put his shame plant in his wardrobe, completely blocked away from light so that it could not be even accidentally hit by a beam of light. Much to his surprise, the leaves of the shame plant spread out in the morning in the dark wardrobe, just as they had when he kept the plant on the windowsill, and the leaves closed in the evening. He continued the experiment for several days, and it was the same. The shame plant's leaves spread out in the morning and closed in the evening hours without having any light in the wardrobe. The conclusion is that the plant did not react to the external light, which was not there, but to its internal biological clock. The center of the human biological clock is a cell group of roughly 20,000 cells in the lower middle part of the brain. The Latin name of it is suprachiasmatic nucleus. Very sexy name. Abbreviated as SCN. The SCN regulates our hormones, body temperature, is responsible for falling asleep at night, waking up in the morning, and its daily timer is set to 24 hours and 11 minutes, which is a little more than the full rotation of the Earth. This biological built-in clock of us takes social cues, work schedule, and natural cues, for example, sunrise and sunset, into account. We all have this in common. This is our built-in clock. Cornell University sociologist Michael Macy and Scott Golder analyzed 500 million social media comments of 2.4 million users in 84 countries and studied the development of positive and negative emotions throughout the day and week. And then they published their results in the journal Science. Regardless of race, geographic location, or religion, positive emotions rose in the morning, fell in the afternoon, and rose again in the evening based on their studies. The same ups and downs occurred in all time zones. A peak in the morning hours, which was followed by a trough, and there was a recovery again by the end of the day. This pattern is present in our everyday life. Scientists began investigating the relationship between the time of the day and mental performance about a century ago. The researchers drew three main conclusions in this regard. First one, our cognitive abilities are not constant throughout the day. There is a roughly 16-hour period during which we are smarter, faster, more creative at certain times of the day, and slower, duller, and less creative at other times of the day. The second one, according to Russell Foster, a brain researcher at the University of Oxford, between the best and worst times of the day, our performance decreases as much as under the influence of as much alcohol as is still allowed while driving. In other words, our brain performance can change very rhapsodically. Depending on the time of the day, a person's cognitive performance can vary by 20%. Number 3. Performance also depends on the activity. According to British psychologist Simon Folkard, the optimal time to perform certain tasks depends on the task itself. Most of us are at our peak mental performance late in the morning or around noon. But since we get tired after continuous focusing, alertness also comes to an end and begins to decline during the afternoon. Our analysis performance deteriorates and closes like the leaf of the shame plant in the afternoon hours. That's it for today's video about our mood shifts and cognitive performance. In the second part of this topic, so in the next video, I'll be sharing more details about the lark and owl personality types, and we will discuss the inspiration paradox, what kind of tasks can we do best even when we are deconcentrated, and whether there is a correlation between the time of the day and our honesty and ability to lie. So stay tuned, see you in the next video. Bye.